Bonjour à tous, bienvenue donc à Whisky Live et à cette masterclass pour EQUIANO. Alors très rapidement, je vais passer la main donc, à Ian Burrell, qui est ambassadeur au monde du rhum. C'est un vrai plaisir de l'avoir ici. Il va pouvoir parler d'un projet quand même qui est assez spécifique, qui va vraiment mêler deux continents et en tout cas va vous offrir une très belle dégustation.
Merci, thank you. Has everyone got their headphones? Because my French is terrible. Good, perfect. If I do apologize, because I normally do my presentations in really bad English. But because you got the headphones, we have two translators inside there that are absolutely amazing, and hopefully they can get my jokes across to you. Hopefully. So we got 30 minutes to talk about what it takes to make a world-class rum brand. Now, being a world-class rum brand, that's subjective. That depends on the person that's buying or paying for the actual product. But these are some of the things that I thought about when I created this brand, EQUIANO, which is what you're going to try today. And we're also going to hopefully answer some questions into the brand. So let me tell you about the brand, an award-winning brand, to make sure this works. There we go. That's EQUIANO. EQUIANO is the world's first African and Caribbean rum. Now, what does that mean? It basically means the rum's from the African continent and from the Caribbean region. Now, I had my first sip of rum when I was four days old, being a Jamaican. So we see the Caribbean as the epicenter of the rum world, but their history and heritage and knowledge for alcoholic beverages and drinks not only came from European invasion, it was also from the African continent. It was enslaved Africans that were brought to the Caribbean, understanding fermentation and flavors and profiles that was used to make these beautiful rums. So I said, why can't we take some rum from the African continent, bring it to the Caribbean, blend it together, and come up with a new style of rum? And that's what EQUIANO is. So that was the first point of trying to create an award-winning rum, having something different. So one of the things I also noticed in some of these tasting competitions, and it's great that we're at Whisky Live. I love to see rum try to take over whiskey. It might not happen, but it's nice to see. But when we talk about world-class spirits, we normally talk about products that are unadulterated. No sugar, no spices are added to them, like some of the best scotches in the world, some of the best Irish whiskeys in the world, some of the best American whiskeys, and of course, some of the best rums. So that was the other thing. We said, right, there are some great rums with sugar in them, but we don't want to be one of them. We want to be a rum that is unadulterated, as natural as possible. So it's all about the barrels, the casks, the natural flavor of the molasses or sugarcane juice within the liquids. That was another point we wanted to make to try to create a world-class rum. And very fortunate, as a company, actually had the idea of making this rum with my business partners in early 2019. We launched in January 2020. Yes! Then 3 months later, no! The world shut down. We're like, no, what? But we were very lucky because we had the liquid. We had lots of competitions and tasting competitions that happened online. So they sent all the rums to the judges' houses. And we were very fortunate. We won every medal that we entered in, every competition. And we only went for the big ones like IWSC, ISC, concours mondial, San Francisco. And we won a gold medal in all of them. So we said, maybe the liquid tastes okay to the judges. And plus, I paid some. No, I didn't. So that's the other thing. It's something you can drink and taste. Actually, in 2020, the year we launched, these were the nine big winners of the competition. And I look at some of these brands: Trois Rivières, history and heritage from Martinique, Rum Bar from Jamaica. Yeah, man, one of the best overproof rums. Foursquare, again, history, heritage, and one of the best rum makers in the world. Velier as well. And then little tiny EQUIANO, the new kid on the block was there. We're like, wow, I can't believe it. We're with these amazing rums. So that was a proud moment, but it just meant that we were on the right track. Also, why not have a great story as well if you're going to make a world-class rum? Yeah, have a great story. The story for EQUIANO was EQUIANO himself. This was EQUIANO. He was an African that was enslaved, taken to Barbados. From Barbados, he got sold when he was 11 years old, came to Europe, and by the time he was 20, he saved enough money by selling rum and spices to buy his own freedom. He bought his own freedom by the time he was 21. Cost him 45 euros. That's 4 years' wages. 4 years' wages, 45 euros. And I was like, wow, this guy's inspiring and an entrepreneur. But also, he wrote a book. He wrote a book about what it was like to be an enslaved African. And that book went on to be a bestseller 9 times over, but it also helped with the abolition of slavery in the colonies once the British used that book in Parliament. So I wanted to pay honor to him, so that's the reason why we called the rum EQUIANO. And the fact the rum starts in Africa, which we'll get onto, it goes to the Caribbean, and then comes to Europe. The same journey EQUIANO made. So why not have a great story? As a company, what we do is every bottle we sell, we donate we donate $2, €2, and £2 to our foundation. At the moment, our foundation is working with Anti-Slavery International to stop people trafficking around the world, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Asia. So we're giving back. It's like beyond the poor. And that's what we like to do, beyond the poor. So let's start off with the liquid. How do you create something that hasn't been done before? As we know, there's loads of great rums out there, and I work with most of them as an ambassador for the category of rum. But most of the rums there are from one country or one region. Yeah? Now, if they're blended, they may be blended from several regions. But there isn't a single one there that is blended with a rum from the African continent. Yeah, there are some great rums from Reunion outside, some rums from Mauritius outside. Yeah, there's some rums from South Africa, try Moba, South Africa. So there's a few rums from one of the 54 countries in the African continent, but not many. When we drink rums, we're drinking from Martinique and Guadeloupe and Jamaica, Barbados and Guyana and places like that. But why not from the African continent? So that's the other thing I wanted to elevate. And one of the islands, one of the countries I work with the government in Mauritius. I've tasted some great rums in Mauritius, and I'm like, well, why can't we use Mauritian rum with Caribbean rum? So I went to the New Grove Distillery in Mauritius, the Gray's Distillery. They are outside, so please try some New Grove. We do have some New Grove for you to try. There was supposed to be somebody from New Grove coming in just to say hi, but he's very shy, so you can catch him on the stand, Didier. But I went to New Grove and I said, thank you. I haven't finished yet. I went to New Grove and I said, I want a good 10-year-old rum, but it has to be aged in cognac barrels. And they were like, why cognac barrels? I'm like, you're French, you're connected with France. Cognac is one of the best spirits in the world. Yeah, I want a rum aged in cognac barrels. So the great thing about New Grove, had their own sugar cane. They control everything, and that's another important thing. If you're creating a brand, why not create a brand where you can actually trace where the sugar cane is coming from? You can see how they treat their workers. You can see what is added to the fields. There is traceability. And in today's climate, we're seeing a lot of consumers asking, where's your rum from? Where's your sugar cane from? How do you treat the workers? People are asking these questions. So that was important for me in creating this brand. So we know how they treat their workers. We know it's their own sugar cane. We know the quality of the molasses used in the rum. We know about their fermentation. And the rum, actually, it's rum number 4. If anyone wants to try rum number 4. This is the one from New Grove. I have to, before you taste it, it is about 65.2% ABV straight from the cask. So it's cask strength. It's a bit stronger than some of the others you're going to be drinking, but I thought we'd start off with the strong one first, just to get a bit of aroma. So the thing I love about rums from Mauritius or New Grove is you get a lot of light fruit, citrusy oils and fruity notes inside there. Of course, you get the cask, the barrels. But it's a really an interesting a multitude of different aromas and flavors that I thought it'd be perfect to add to a Caribbean rum to give something different, to give something slightly different. So this isn't the actual rum we use in the EQUIANO blend, but it's going in that direction. We couldn't give you the secret recipe, because then you'd be making EQUIANO and I'd just be out of money. So this is a new go recipe. If any technical people are here, it's single column, 38 copper plates, 38 for rectification, and the rum comes off at 94% ABV off the still. Quite strong, but still legal. Not like vodka where you've messed up and you go to like 96, no flavor. Yeah, it's 94, you still get the flavor inside there. And in grays, they like to use cognac casks. I said old limousine oak barrels, 500 liters. It gives it time for the liquid to rest and get a lot of flavor. So the rum in the EQUIANO is aged for a minimum of 10 years in cognac barrels. 10 years in cognac barrels. Quality control. Another important thing when we're talking about quality rum. Look at the smile on his face. That's someone who's happy with their job. What do you do at work? I drink rum. Yes! So, remember the journey, EQUIANO. So the rum starts off in Mauritius, in Africa, and then after 10 years, we send it to the Caribbean, and we send it to a little island called Barbados. Has anyone been to Barbados here before? Yes, you've been to Barbados. You love it. Nice place. Was that Longateur on there? Oh, another great rum. Longateur. I've been to your distillery as well, haven't I? Yes. Yeah, I'm coming to drink later with you. Yes, well, Longateur. I was there, wasn't I there? In Guadeloupe? I digress. Anyway, Barbados, not far from beautiful Guadeloupe. Barbados, the home of rum. Why would we call it the home of rum? Because historically, the British, you know those terrible people, they went to the Caribbean. They found loads of sugar cane there. They actually tried to get Cuba. They got beaten up by the Spanish. They went down to Jamaica and took that instead. But they found loads of aguardiente, sugar cane, molasses. So they did all that, but they loved alcohol. So they brought their knowledge and love for alcohol to the islands of Barbados, where sugarcane hadn't flourished yet. It was the Dutch that brought sugarcane there in the early 1600s. But then they started making sugarcane spirit, which they called initially Kill Devil. And then they started calling it rum bullion. And rum bullion is an old English word for lots of noise, an uproar, being boisterous and drunk, a bit like Paris on a Saturday night after PSG wins a match. A bit like that. So that's why rum got its name. It got its name from an old English word meaning rum bullion, and that happened in Barbados around the 1650s. So that's why we say Barbados is the home of rum, the name of rum. But they were making rum in Martinique around the same time as well. But not Guadeloupe yet. But they were probably doing it in Guadeloupe as well. So anyway, we go to Barbados, the home of rum. We go to the Foursquare Distillery, our 10-year-old rum from Mauritius. Goes to Foursquare, where that is blended with a Foursquare rum. So it's almost like a cuvée. Yeah, so it's the Mauritian rum blended with Barbados rum. Africa, Caribbean. Now, the Foursquare rum has been aged in once-used bourbon barrels. We actually have a Foursquare rum here, which is number 3. It's the 8-year-old from Dawley's. Again, they're outside. So it'd be nice to compare that. It's not cask strength, but it's nice to compare some of the fruity notes you get from a Barbados rum with some of the light, zesty, fiery notes you get from the Mauritian rum. Yeah? Oh, thank you. They like that as well. I should have made you guys scream and make lots of noise just to scare these guys. What are they doing over there? We'll do that at the end. So the Barbados rum, because they're influenced by the old British way of making rum, they still use their alembic or pot still, and they blend that with their column still. So all Barbados rums will be a blend of pot and column. They can use just column, but 90% of the aged rums will be a blend of pot and column still. So EQUIANO uses a blend of pot and column still, aged for a minimum of 8 years in once-used bourbon barrels, American oak. So again, EQUIANO is Barbados, Mauritius, Caribbean, Africa, pot still and column still, mixed with column still. both molasses. So 2 rums blended together to come up with something. I actually did this blend myself in my kitchen. And I gave the sample to our blender, a guy named Richard Seal from Foursquare. And he smelt it, okay, took a sip, and went, yeah, don't give up your daytime job. That's what he said. But I'm not a blender. I just know what I like. I know what I like. So that was the reason why I came up with the idea and the concept, but then I passed it on to Richard, and then he did the final blend. So Foursquare, as a distillery, an award-winning distillery, rum makers, they've won pretty much every single rum-making award in the last 5-6 years. They are legendary within the rum game. And the types of barrels they have, everything from Madeira to sherry to Calvados, Zinfandel, port. They're doing so many double matured rums. And we say double matured, not a finish, double matured. Because when you're spending 5-6 years in a barrel for your second maturation, that's not a finish. You're maturing. You're losing 6 to 8% every year. Yeah? Losing 6 to 8%. In Scotland, they're only losing 2% of their whiskey. Barbados losing 6 to 8% of their liquid every year. So when you've gone into an American oak barrel for 6 years, and then you go into a sherry cask or Madeira cask for another 6 years, it's not a finish. It's a second maturation. So that's why we say double maturation, not finish, like some of the whiskey guys. Oh, we finished in sherry. Really? Okay. We matured in sherry barrels because we're rum. So yeah, so we get the rum, comes off at 65 to 68. This is a rum team. This is the guys that keep me out of the distillery because I'm always trying to steal rum. And so they kick me out there, security. But they're the ones who make some of the best rums in the world. That's Richard, master blender. He'll be here tomorrow. He's actually in Paris. It's his birthday today. But he'll be here tomorrow, so you could catch him and say to him, why didn't you take Ian's blend for EQUIANO? And he'll say, Ian, I did it my way. So that's Richard Seal. Over the last 5 years, the IWSC has given them the best rum maker in the world. And actually, one of their rums beat Scotch, brandies, Armagnacs as the overall spirit in the IWSC Cup. So they know what they're doing. So we bottle the EQUIANO, the 2 rums, into 1 bottle, and that's it, EQUIANO. It's the second, number two. It's only, it's not as strong as the cask strength. It's only 43% ABV. But as I said, no sugar, no spices, a blend of pot still, column still, Barbados, Mauritius. It's what I like to call a drinking rum. Not a sipping rum, because any rum can be sipped. Longateur, you can sip Longateur. Even you do a black cane Longateur as well? Oh, you should do. All right, okay. But you can sip any rum. Any rum can be sipped. So when some people say, oh, is it a sipping rum? Like, well, it depends on who it is. So I don't use the term sipping rum. I use drinking rum. Why? Because I want people to drink. Can you sip it? Yeah. Can I mix it? Yeah. Can I put it in a cocktail? Yeah. And then some people, especially in Europe, because the legal minimum for a rum in Europe is 37.5% ABV. That's like water. But that's legal minimum in Europe. A lot of premium rums are sold at 40%. But there's a lot of those rum drinkers out there. So I wanted to get those rum drinkers into something a little bit stronger, 43% ABV, so a little bit more premium than they're used to. But if you're used to a cask strength, like you guys are, then this is right light for you. But then you have a whole bottle, you sit down, we talk football, we talk basketball, we talk sports, we talk politics, and we finish a whole bottle in one session. It's a session drink, session rum. That's what EQUIANO is, a session rum. Finish it in one go. But still has the aromas, the fruitiness that you want from a good Barbadian rum, the spiciness and the nice woody notes you want from a good Mauritian rum. But neither. It's a blend of both, a cuvée. Oh, wow. There's a picture up there. Wow, it looks amazing. I haven't finished my presentation yet. There's official tasting notes. Don't worry about that, because everyone has their own perception of tasting. Some of you might have, has anyone got a cold? Remember that? Back in the days, we used to have colds. If anyone's got a cold, you might not be able to get the aroma. We actually call it the 3 Cs, the 3 Cs. One is a cold. The second one is COVID. Remember that? People used to have COVID back in the days. You might have COVID, so that's the other C. The last C that will impair your sense of smell is if you're in the bathrooms having a cheeky little C beforehand, but I'm not going to judge you if you did that. Not going to judge you. So if you did that, then it might mess up with your nose. You can't smell some of the aromas. So that's the 3 Cs. 3 Cs. So takes and notes are subjected. So I'm just going to finish up with the last rum. That's our journey. If you ever come to London, this is where EQUIANO lived. He lived in North London, in the center of London. This is where he wrote his book. It's called Riding House Street. And you should come there one day and have a little drink of rum. Call me. I'm like, Ian, I'm in London. We're outside EQUIANO's house. Let's have a rum. But finally, I just wanted to leave you with the newest rum that I created. And it's because my bartender background. As a bartender, some people call them mixologists. I don't like to use that. I call myself a cocktologist. That's another reason. Because of my bartender background, we love blending rums together when we're making cocktails. And the king of the rum cocktail for me is a daiquiri. Rum, lime, and sugar. Rum, lime, and sugar. But as we know, with rum, they can be made from 3 main raw materials. From sugarcane. Fresh cane juice, some of the best in the world. Syrup, like they do in Central America. Or molasses, like a lot of the, especially the British and the Spanish influence countries and islands will make their rums from, the byproduct of making sugar. But when you have an agricole rum, that grassiness is just so prevalent. It's just so beautiful bouquet of sugarcane and fresh, light, zesty notes inside a rum that we don't get that from molasses rums. So when we're blending rums together for a daiquiri, when we're making cocktails, we sometimes would add a molasses rum with an agricole. So I said, well, why don't we do that in a bottle? And that's what EQUIANO Light is. EQUIANO Light is a blend of molasses-based rums from Barbados, aged for 3 years in American oak, and we blended fresh cane juice rum from Mauritius. I don't call it agricole, because legally, you can't call fresh cane juice rums from Mauritius agricole. Can we? Correct. And the Martinique and the Guadeloupe are adamant. So is the French Guiana and Reunion, they're all adamant. No. So Mauritian rum is not agricole. It is cane juice rum. Similar to agricole, cane juice rum. So it's cane juice rum with molasses blended together. Unaged from Mauritius, 3 years old from Barbados. Blended together to give a really nice light bouquet. Again, 43% ABV. You get some of the grassy notes inside there, but you also get a touch of the sweeter, vanilla-y type of notes you may get from the barrels, the American oak that this rum has been aged in. So again, 2 rums blended together, really the backbone of some of the best cocktails in the world for me, like a daiquiri, sours. I love this, a bit of coconut water, squeeze of lime juice, and a touch of sugar just to stir it down. It's almost like a cross between a daiquiri and a tiponche, just together. But, absolutely amazing. Oh, easy to drink. 43% ABV, just the same as the original. So that's some of the little tips and pointers that I went through in my mind to try to create what we call an award-winning rum, just because of the fact that it's won all these awards. Even our light has been highly recommended. San Francisco, the International Spirit Challenge has won gold medals there because a lot of the judges and the bartenders find it different. Some will find it a little bit sweeter than some of the agricoles out there, and definitely a lot more zesty than some of the molasses rums. It's just something different to offer the bartender, whether you're at home or inside your cocktail program. So that's it. Nice and simple. A journey of enlightenment. We try to enlighten everybody about rum, because rum, for me, is the best category in the world. And I would challenge any brand ambassador or rum ambassador, sorry, not rum ambassador, vodka ambassador or whiskey ambassador or tequila ambassador. I would challenge all of them when it comes to the best spirit in the world. Whatever you can give me as a brandy, an Armagnac, or tequila, vodka ambassador, I will give you a rum that could be just as good, if not better. But yeah, that's it. EQUIANO. Oh, forget the tasting notes. Oh, thank you. I was in the clap. Make some noise. Oh, they're gone, haven't they? Make loads of noise. Cheers. Cheers. Excellent. So do we have time for any questions? Do we have time for questions? Yeah, we do? No? Yes? Yeah? Oh, anyone want to ask a question? Any questions? Any questions? Oh, yes. Oh, here's the mic for the young lady here.
Take the mic here.
Sorry. Thank you for your presentation.
Oh, no,
I
thank you for
wanted to
listening.
know, is Foursquare part of the EQUIANO?
Yes, they're actually my business partners, one of my partners in the blending. So everything is done at Foursquare. Yeah, so we send all the rums to Foursquare, to Richard. He blends that, and we bottle there. And then we send from Barbados to the US or to the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Okay. Oh, wow. Everyone's like, either knows all the answers. They're like, oh, wow, Ian, amazing. Not a problem. If you can ask me questions. I'll be at the stand a little bit later drinking rum. You can come there if you're shy. You can ask me there. But if you see me tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning dancing in a club or a bar, don't ask me about fractional distillation, how many types of staves inside the barrel, what's the dress size of the master blender. No, don't ask me none of those questions. Not at 1 o'clock in the morning in a bar. But you can ask me at the stand. But guys, cheers, salute, santé. Thank you very much. Cheers. Wow.